Meanwhile, the G7 nations are expected to announce fresh sanctions against Iran when the group's foreign ministers meeting wraps up later today. The US and UK have already moved forward with a new round of sanctions in response to Tehran's strikes on Israel last weekend. Undeterred with sanctions, Iran at the UNSC on Thursday said that Israel must be compelled to stop any further military adventurism against our interest. Giles Gibson is in Capri for us.
In a coordinated move, the US and the UK have announced a fresh round of sanctions against Iran, with Washington sanctions targeting the country's missile and drone programs, as well as the Defense Ministry and the Revolutionary Guard Corps, while London's have targeted the Iranian Defense Minister, as well as other individuals and organizations that are linked to the country's military. US President Joe Biden, as he announced these sanctions, said that allies and partners of the US and the UK around the world will also be introducing similar measures to respond to Iran's missile and drone attacks on Israel over the weekend. Meanwhile, we've also had the NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg and the Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba here on the Italian island of Capri, joining the G7 foreign ministers in their talks. And Dmytro Kuleba has drawn what he sees as a very clear contrast between the way that Western allies support Israel and the way they support Ukraine. He said that when it comes to Israel, the strategy for that, he says it's to prevent damage and death, clearly referring there to the fact that the US and the UK helped to shoot down drones and missiles fired by Iran towards Israeli territory. On the other hand, he says for Ukraine, their strategy is simply to help the country to recover from damage. Now, the NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg here in Capri has said that the alliance is working towards providing Ukraine with more Patriot air defense systems, and the foreign ministers have also been discussing how to use $300 billion of frozen Russian assets in the West as collateral for loans that could be issued to the Ukrainian government in the coming weeks. Giles Gibson on the island of Capri, reporting for DD India.